in the afternoon, during the week. And what is today? Thursday. Coming at you with some grown folk talk and conversation. How is everyone? Today is a very pleasant day. I don't have much time, but I thought I'd stop on by and say hi, let you guys know all is good. And the thought of the day that I've had was about procrastination. You know, don't procrastinate, you guys. Don't procrastinate with nothing that you have your sets and sights on doing, whether it is completing a task, going after something that you want, going after someone that you want, cleaning out that closet, writing that book, writing that music, doing whatever it is that you need to do. Don't procrastinate. I have heard many a stories about people who were thinking about certain things and doing certain things, and then the day never came because you turn around and something happened. We here today, we gone tomorrow. Or you turn around and you're not in a position or situation to move forward with it. I knew of someone who talked about traveling, wanted to travel a lot, and they ended up getting sick, and to the point where they had issues breathing and all these things, and they just could not travel in the way that they wanted to after their status of life changed. So, and they had put off year after year of, I'm gonna do it this year, I'm gonna do it next year, I'm gonna do it, and it just never really got down to doing it because of the procrastination. Now, we all are guilty of that at some point. Just think for a moment of something that you have procrastinated on, that you probably daily think about needing to do or complete, and you just don't get to it. And I recommend you start to focus and zone in on what's important. What is it that you need to do? And you may have to dissect it. You may have to do a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit next day. May not can do it all in one a la mode, but your focus is to get started and start making it happen. We also procrastinate in areas of love, relationships, and things of that nature where there's things that we know we need to deal with and do with the person that we're with and love, and we put it off. You know, for instance, you may say, well, I know that I need to show them more love. I need to communicate better. Or I know that I need to perhaps take them on a much planned vacation that I never got a chance to do. Or perhaps even a honeymoon. Some people get married and they never really do a honeymoon. And they talk about doing it year after year. And before you know it, it's almost 10 years. It's like, we never did a honeymoon. So they start planning that trip. But you have to stop procrastinating with everything. And when you're talking about the one that you love, and the situations that you're in, I understand that sometimes trials come, and we end up being in a situation where we're unmotivated. We're not motivated to do anything because you don't really like each other at that time. You just can't stand each other. So you become unmotivated to actually do the things that you really should have been doing, or should have been done. I mean, I don't want to do that. No, not right now. No, no, no. Before you know it, time goes on. So let's stop the procrastination. That's one of the things I wanted to get out on a whim, is that, you know, seem like the more seasoned we get, the older we get, the more life we live, the more we come up against devastations, life happenings, things we can't change. We end up losing loved ones. We end up losing good friends. We end up losing things instead of gaining sometime. And it's a hard pill to swallow because sometimes those are those who are extremely dear to us in our hearts, and we have to adjust to the loss. We have to refocus our paths in our lives because of that person not being here anymore. And it's just the reality of life. We come into this world and we have to leave this world. So while we're here, focus on what's important. Stop putting the brakes on it. It's so easy to become so complacent with, in thought, indeed, that um, I'll get to this tomorrow. And with everything happening in this world and everything going on and the way the stuff shift and change, we don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring, you guys. So it's like you can't say that anymore about tomorrow because you don't know if tomorrow is gonna come. So you have to find a way to focus in the now and make it happen today the best you can. At least start with sprinkling it out there, getting down with it, um, getting it started, stirring it, marinating it, whatever it may take, because you may not have that opportunity. So that was just a thought. I have heard lately of a couple of dear, close people that I know that have been in situations where things happened that was devastating. They lost loved ones and things of that nature. And, I just want to give prayers, loves, and hugs to anybody who is going through a loss right now and dealing with the trials of life in that way because we all have been there. We all have been there. And it's a very hard, deep rooted, deep seated thing to really um, accept. We can accept many things in life. We can accept all of it. But when it comes to losing someone that's dear to us, that is something that just takes a big chunk out of your heart. So, back to the question at hand and the topic, procrastination. Let's stop it. Let's make it happen. Let's get involved with doing what we need to do, you know. And another topic I want to talk about, I have had a few people come to me lately that are having some extreme issues in their relationships and some great challenges, and they are trying to hold on and stay focused and in it. And one thing I will say is that excuse me, is that no relationship is perfect. No relationship is perfect. No one is perfect. You're going to always have some type of hurdles and issues and things to deal with in your relationship, good and bad. And someone trying to tell you or make you think they got the most perfect relationship is just lying, because there's no perfect relationships. There may be two that can get along a lot better with one another than the next couple. Um, and they may go through different challenges than the next couple, but there's no perfect relationships. So, therefore, you have to be very careful at who you get your advice from and who you talk to, because someone who doesn't have the wisdom behind dealing with certain things, say like if they, let's just flip the script a little bit. Someone who's never been a parent trying to tell you about single parenting. Duh. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's single and who's been in 10 relationships in the past 2 years trying to tell you something about it. Relationships. I don't know. That just don't settle right. So The thing is, you have to be careful with who you share your information with and who you get advice from. And you have to make sure that, too, there's a limitation on what you share, because everyone who has an ear to listen does not mean you well when it comes to you discussing your problems. And another thing, too, sometimes we can be very judgmental and point the finger at someone, that we start blaming them for doing things, or could possibly do things, or we take things out of context with this person, and it's not even like that. And remember, when you're going through things and you have certain insecurities about what you're going through, everyone becomes the finger pointer. You are on everybody's behind, because why? Because you are off course with the way you're thinking and behaving right now. You're very sensitive to what's going on right now with you and yours. So anybody that's in that zone is going to be the problem. And that's not always necessarily true. That's not always necessarily true. You have to be careful with your finger pointing. You have to be, and in some relationships, people get into wanting to blame one another, or they want to accuse one another, or things of that nature, and they don't even have proof or a reason why they're doing that, other than they just feel some kind of way. And you have to be very careful of that as well, because once you start pointing the finger and making accusations and doing all this, it shatters, and it it rocks your cage of trust. It's like, once the trust starts to become, you know, the foundation of the trust becomes wobbly, then it's hard for you to be able to move forward with that person, because trust is one of the main ingredients in any relationship. Trust, communication, loyalty, commitment. There's so many strong factors that you need, but when you cannot communicate trust, and ooh, don't forget respect. Respect is up there high too, because it becomes a tug of war and a domino effect. If you've ever been in a situation, takes two to tangle, right? Takes two to argue, takes two to make up, takes two to love, takes two to hate. So if you're in a situation and you got one person that's being disrespectful, then it's going to cause you to retaliate and become disrespectful back. Then you both have this constant disrespect for one another that starts to develop a bad taste deep down inside for and towards one another. So the trust is shattered. The communication is, whew, you can't, if two people are hollering and screaming at each other, guess what? Did you hear what I said? No. Did you hear what I said? Did we understand what each other said? No. Because they didn't block you out and you didn't block them out, and the person is just trying to get all this stuff out that they're feeling, all this emotion, all this hurt, all this pain, and the other person is trying to boom, 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 get there, and it becomes this tug of war, and you do not have an understanding of where one another is coming from. So the communication is altered. So it's so many very strong, important factors. And in order for you to grow and develop and blossom in the way that you should as a couple, you have to have these key ingredients intact, because the little things that's coming against now is not in comparison to the big great things that could happen down the line. Every relationship has its peaks and downs. It goes up and it comes down. It goes up and it goes down. Life brings about situations and sometimes change. So you're going to have things that's going to happen that is going to put you in a situation of doubt, questioning, is this for me? Is this person right for me? Am I wasting my time? Should I just get on and go and fly away and disappear and squash this and do that? You're going to start questioning things in a negative way because why? That's the devil is busy, and so he's trying to kill, steal, and destroy, right? So if he can't kill you, he's gonna try to destroy you. If he can't destroy you, what else? He's gonna try to steal your joy. He's gonna try to rob you. So you have to be attentive and focused on what's really happening. What's the dynamics? What's missing? What is it that we really need to sprinkle and season this union with? Is it worth doing that? Because some people can say we've been together for X amount of time, but they've been together, but it's just being together. You know, they haven't really connected and bonded together. They just are being together, and it's a difference. And that's why some who are together and have been together for a while, they really just don't totally know each other. Then you end up finding some things out that, man, I didn't even know you're a total different I didn't even know you had that in you. And you start to grow after many years of being together. So, and sometimes grow in a negative way, not in a positive way. So we have got to stop our procrastination. We have got to start building and developing all over the globe when it comes to our lives, when it comes to our relationships, our focus, love. For those of you who are single, if you out looking to, mingle and mix and gravitate and root with something, you know, look for the quality, not the quantity. Look for something of substance. Look for something that, has all of the building blocks that's needed for you both to grow and to develop and go in the same direction. Stop putting off, what you can be working on and building towards today. For those who are already in something, you need to start working on daily the growth and the bond that you both have, the love, the commitment, the trust, all of that, if it's worth it to you. If it's not worth it to you, then you have to make some decisions to fly away, to fly bye-bye, to let this go. And sometimes that could be very painful. Sometimes that could be hard for the next person to make the step to do. But when you start compromising self and you love yourself and you start compromising self and in a situation where it's literally, like I mentioned in the last video, sucking the life out of you, then it's time to make choices and decisions. Because why? Because tomorrow is not promised. So we have got to live in the moment and live it the best that we can for us, loving and growing and developing those that's connected to us, and also planting seeds into things that you're trying to manifest in a positive way. Your dreams, your goals, your passions, your ambitions, all that stuff. Start working on that now. Don't mark your calendar for, oh, I'm gonna, some people will say, well, in January I'm gonna start that. And here we are in September. That's 4 months. Was that 4 months? September, October, November, December. Yeah, that's 4 months. So you got 4 months to go, and you talking about what you're gonna do 4 months from now, what you could be starting to do now. What are you waiting for? Why you gotta wait 4 months? 4 months, we may all be gone on this planet. We don't know what's gonna be happening in 4 months. You need to start planting now. And Rome wasn't built in a day. May take several days, may take until January, but at least you start building today. So those are my messages for today, you guys. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Donna Smith, aka Lady D. Keep loving you. Keep loving the person and the people and the things that you do. You know, don't allow anybody to steal your joy. Don't allow anybody to take you off course. Don't allow anybody to stress you to the point where it's causing you to not focus on being the best that you can be in all that you do. You guys have a lovely day. I'll be at you tomorrow with some grown folk talk and conversation. This is Donna Smith, aka Lady D, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.